recording. 1, 2, 3, there we go. So, hi Kate.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for letting me come and interview you, because you're busy with the boys. You've got Johnny on your lap?
This is Johnny.
Yes. And here we've got Connell. Hello, Connell.
He's busy with the coasters.
And they've just had their first birthday last week, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I met you last year when I taught you KG Hypnobirthing.
Yes.
And at that point, you got this twin pregnancy, your first pregnancy, and you were. So we did the hypnobirthing, but it became apparent towards the end of the hypnobirthing that you were going to have a caesarean section. Yeah,
that's right.
And so I asked to come and speak to you because that's a really good thing for other women to know, is that hypnobirthing can help however you're going to have your baby, and it doesn't have to be only for those women that are planning a home birth or planning a vaginal birth. It's actually quite useful in lots of circumstances, and if you're having a caesarean section, it can be very useful as well.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah.
Are you happy to tell us a little bit about how you found hypnobirthing, perhaps the classes, and then what happened and when you used it for the birth?
Yeah, so I had hypnobirthing once a week, and I found it really useful form of relaxation and sort of fighting stress and things like that, and practicing really for the real thing.
Yeah.
I also had my husband as well, I think, cope with things and prepare for giving birth, because things happened quite suddenly for us. I went into labour at 34 weeks.
Yeah. And
I'd been sort of unwell for a few days but ignored it, and then suddenly everything happened very quickly when I went into hospital. So I went in and was 5 centimetres dilated very quickly, and had a caesarean the following hour. So the hypnobirthing really, in terms of the caesarean section, really helped, because it was really stressful that it was so early, that the twins were premature. In the operating theatre, it was very busy. There were lots of professionals in there. It was a very stressful environment. So both me and my husband definitely benefited from using the techniques, because we had the screen up and all the professionals around us, and it was just me and him focusing on each other, really.
Fantastic.
And I found him particularly useful, and he sort of was the one that instigated all. He could see, my heart rate was going quite fast, because I was quite anxious doing the birth. And he was the one who brought in the techniques and actually helped me to calm down.
I remember when you wrote to me afterwards to tell me what had happened.
Yeah.
You were so full. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh, sugar plum. You were so full of praise for him. It was a beautiful email to read, because you were so full of praise for him about having been, just perfect for you, keeping you
was surprising,
in the zone.
because when I first said about the hypnobirthing, he was a bit sceptical, but I could tell through each of the sessions he was getting more interested in it. And then actually when it came to it, he was fantastic. And he helped me to use the techniques we did together as well. Which was
wonderful. That was good. And then I think you mentioned as well in your email to me after you'd had the babies that it helped in the early days of motherhood as well.
Because again, a very stressful time. They were feeding sort of every 2 hours, both babies. Yeah. And just times where we just needed to take a minute just to de-stress from it all, because it was a very demanding time, and it definitely helped. Even now, in the stresses of life, sometimes just take a minute. It is a really good coping mechanism.
One of the things that we say is that they are life skills. Like we spoke about that during the course. They are life skills, and of course Adam had come across some of the breathing techniques, hadn't he, previously? But you keep on using them. You just do. So did you find that doing the course helped you to communicate better during the pregnancy and preparation for the birth? Was that something that worked for you?
Yeah, I think the one thing that struck me the most was realising that I had autonomy in the decision, and that, it was a complicated pregnancy, but no matter what, I decided that caesarean was the best, the safest choice for me. And, I think as a result of doing the course, it gave me the confidence to stick by that and not be swayed, because it is easy for people to to muscle in and say, you know, you should do it this way, you should do it that way, natural is the best way. But seeing how the babies were afterwards, now poor they were especially, I don't regret it for a minute.
No,
and I entirely, you know, I'm confident in the decision I made.
Good, well done.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd say to other families, anything in particular about the course or about techniques that might have helped you since then?
Yeah, I think just try and do it together. I think the key is to do it with your partner. I
think that's really, really,
Because I don't think on my own I probably would have been able to have done it. I wouldn't have been the one to sort of, because it was a very stressful situation. So I think doing it as a couple is the best.
Yes, I definitely agree with you there. And I think that having somebody who knows the path you've been on before the birth and knows the plans you've made and why you've made those plans, that can be invaluable, and that's difficult to have if the partner hasn't been on the course with you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like you say, you keep those skills for life then, because they are transferable, they're really useful. Definitely needed.
Hello, sugar. And have you used the music or anything with the boys afterwards? Some people find that they use the music and it calms the babies afterwards.
Oh, right. I kind of use similar sort of music that stimulates sort of the womb environment. But I might just try that, to be honest. As they're getting a bit more bossy, that might be quite useful.
They're gorgeous. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.